What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And Merab Dvalishvili just submitted Sean O'Malley in round 3 to retain his bantamweight title. Kayla Harrison and New submits Juliana Pena. It was a very impressive performance from him. Otherwise we had Joshua Van on the card. We know Salty Man Officer Joe got a decision and started yapping like he was fucking doing some speech or some shit afterwards. Holland actually submitted Vicente Luque. So the card overall was decent. It finished off on a good note with a finish in the main and co-main. I was heavily anticipating a Merab 50-45, 49-46 smudge fest. And it would end on a bad note, but a submission's actually a pretty impressive way to end it on, and also to really provide closure, even though there really wasn't any needed after that first fight. So yeah, we'll start off with the main event. Merab Dvalishvili. I picked him to win going in. I was pretty confident. I just said nothing's going to change since the first fight. People like MMA Guru picked O'Malley to win. And to me, I just saw that as illogical. I'm like, there's no change. He hasn't shown anything. It's not like he fought uncharacteristically in the first fight. We've seen him get taken down by other guys. Jan took him down. I was like, it's just gonna be the same thing again. It was not exactly the same thing again, because it was even more dominant than the first fight. Merab won 2-0 clearly the first two, and then the third round was his most dominant round of the fight, and he was only really building from there, so it was trending towards 50-45, but he gets on a little front headlock kind of thing and gets a sort of guillotine-y, ninja chokey sort of crank kind of thing, rolls O'Malley over and taps him with about 20 seconds to go in the third round. Crazy stuff, impressive from Merab. Lucas Tracy's dropping a GOAT list, T-minus 24 hours. Merab's going to be number 4 all time, is my prediction. Leave your predictions in the comments. Where is Lucas going to put Merab on his next GOAT list? Because, honestly though, he is top 10. No joke. He is top 10 and I have him above Khabib. I put him above Khabib after he beat Umar. And people called me crazy. People acted like I was stupid. I don't think it's crazy. I'm sorry. I'm going to list off O'Malley. I'm going to list off Merab's best wins. His top 7 wins, in no particular order. O'Malley twice, Umar, Cejudo, Jan, Aldo, Marlon Moraes. Those are Merab's 7 best wins in no particular order. Now, Khabib's 7 best wins, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Edson Barboza, Rafael dos Anjos, Michael Johnson, and RDA. I'm sorry, I just think Merab's resume is levels above, and he's only got 1 less title defense. Khabib had 3 defenses. Merab's got 2, and also I view Khabib's first defense as fraudulent. I think he has 2 title defenses, because I don't view him beating number 11 ranked real estate agent Al Iaquinta on short notice, on a day's notice, on like 2 days notice. I do not view that as winning the belt. I view that as an interim title. I think he won the belt against Conor McGregor, and he defended it twice after that. You can argue with history if you want. It's all good. But yeah, I think Khabib has 2 legitimate title defenses, because no one really thought he was like the undisputed champion after beating Al Iaquinta. If he'd beaten Ferguson, 100%, but I don't think that was him beating Al Iaquinta should have been for an undisputed title. Anyway, that is what it is. I just think he's better resume than Khabib, and now he's finishing people, bro. The whole division's cooked. Bantamweight is actually ruined. If we're talking about how the fight went, Merab was looking as retarded as usual, and he actually was tagging O'Malley. He actually landed good on O'Malley on the feet. Was actually looking pretty decent. I mean, not skill-wise, but was having moments. And I said before, I was streaming this card, I said before the main event started, if Merab gets the first takedown, he's won the fight. If Merab secures the first kind of shot or the first actual attempt at grappling, he's won the fight. And sure enough, he gets the first takedown, he even gets the second one. He didn't even fail that many takedowns. He failed less takedowns than normal this time around. But yeah, he subbed O'Malley in round 3. Round 2, round 1 and 2 were both somewhat competitive, I guess. O'Malley had moments, but he's just trying to farm a KO. He's just trying to wait for a KO shot and clip farm and get a finish. And it's just you're not. You got, I'm not saying lucky, but you found the perfect shot against Aljo, and he hasn't been able to replicate it since. He has not been able to put away a high-level bantamweight apart from Aljamain Sterling. Now I get it, he hasn't really fought many of them. He's fought Merab twice and Peter Yan, and I wouldn't even consider Cheeto high level. But still, it's just like, clearly he was just not on Merab's level. The grappling defense was just too weak, and he just doesn't have the strength, he doesn't have the cardio to deal with Merab. So this was always going to be a nightmare matchup for him. I'll do a next fights to make video tomorrow as well. O'Malley, I actually want to see go up to 45. I don't think there's anything left from at bantamweight. You can run a Peter Yan rematch, would be cool, but like in terms of like, if he wants to become a champion, or if he wants to have success at the top of the sport and kind of be relevant, I don't think him just kind of hovering around as a contender at bantamweight does anything for him. So I think you go up to 45, you fight like a Yair, or you fight like an Arnold Allen. You get one of these kind of top-ranked, fun fights that'll draw interest, and you try and get a win there. And then knowing his star power, they'd probably just give him a title shot at featherweight if he gets a win. As far as Merab goes, obviously cementing himself greatest bantamweight of all time, no doubt about it. Now, if there was doubt after the Umar fight, and you said, oh, he's only got one defense, here's two defenses, here's seven, I would consider like 6 elite wins and 1 very good win against Moraes at that time of his career. I would consider that a pretty solid win. But yeah, I mean, it's Sandhagen next. I think there's no doubt about it. There's no one else. You're not doing a Yarn rematch right now. Yarn's fighting McGee. Get Sandhagen in there. UFC 320, I'm going to do a separate video on this as well, was announced for October, meaning we have no pay-per-view in September. When the fuck is the last month? When's the last time we didn't have a fucking pay-per-view for a month? And 319's halfway through August. So we're going to be without a pay-per-view for like 6 weeks. So love the UFC for that. Because you fucked up your scheduling, thought you were going to do a fucking Noche pay-per-view, that didn't happen, and then instead of just finding another location, like Australia, where you actually have talent from, best we can do is a fucking Apex Fight Night, kid, good luck. You're getting fucking Wang Kung versus Alex de Grasso in the main event, you're going to like it. I don't know. Anyway, and also we've got a fucking Canada Fight Night announced for October 18th. I'm sick of these DEI Fight Night locations. If they don't have talent, don't reward them with arenas. Don't reward them with cards. Anyway, though, that's it for the main event. I'll talk more about it in future videos, I guess. Let's move on, though, to the co-main. Co-main event, we had Kayla Harrison use his physical strength advantage and just size bully Juliana Pena, who is a biological woman. It is what it is, you know. I picked Kayla to win. Bedtime, for some reason, picked Juliana Pena. I don't think anyone picking Juliana Pena has a brain cell when it comes to predicting fights, to be honest. I'm sorry, like, respectfully, if you look at that and just be like, yeah, Pena's gonna survive a beating and she's gonna take over late, bro. Pena's shit. She has no takedown defense. She's weak. She's a woman. She has no grappling. She was obviously gonna. She subbed a fucking washed, gas, tired Nunes, who was completely spent and just should not have been in the cage that night with her condition. But no, Kayla just bullies her, gets her down. First round, Juliana gets fucking point taken from it, just illegally up-kicking Kayla Harrison in the face, which I respect, because normally I would encourage cheating and say they're never going to take a point, so do whatever you need to. But they did take a point first time, and I actually support the refs for doing so. They should do it more often, but it's just a rarity to actually see points taken in MMA. And then second round just gets her down, and then end of the round, Kimura. It was like the least eventful, like, oh my god, that's tight. Like, it was just like, oh, she's got a Kimura, and she taps immediately, because she would have broken her arm. So yeah, good job, Kayla Harrison faces off with Nunes in the afterwards, just yapped for so fucking long, I couldn't be asked. I was like, yeah, let's get out of here. Kayla versus Nunes, you know, battle of two men. She's a man, versus Kayla Harrison, you know, just a male individual. Sounds very feminine. I'm convinced that's an accent. that's a biological male putting on an accent. Great accent. It really has me convinced sometimes that she's actually a woman. But Nunes Harrison, don't know who to pick in that fight. I'll think about it later on, because the concerns with Kayla are still there. But if she is able to just physically bully whoever she fights around and doesn't gas, then it's like, it's wraps. Anyway, though, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, Officer Joe Pye. Hey, stop resisting. Put your hands where I can see him. Versus Kelvin Fatsalam. Pyfer just beat up Gastelum, I guess. Fight was kind of mid, but he did drop him like 4 times. So Fair play to Gastelum's chin. Pfeiffer was like looking for the KO in the first and was like, looks like he might get it. That was my prediction. I thought he would just overwhelm Gastelum and get him out of there early with a submission or takedown or a knockout. He didn't even bother with the grappling, so glad I didn't put any money on a submission. I think I had him for KO at some point. But no, he just dropped Gastelum a bunch. Gastelum just had nothing for him. The size difference was fucking retarded. And yeah, Gastelum looked like a welterweight fighting a light heavyweight, which is what's going to happen when you cut no weight because you're a fat fuck. Yeah, Pfeiffer went off and yapped on the mic, salted up the arena, was real angry at everything. I don't know why. He was yapping, talking about Trump, talking about this, talking about that. It's like, brother, you're an unranked middleweight. You just won a decision. Like, chill the fuck out. Anyway, then let's move on to the next fight. Next up, Patchy Mix. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this kid's doing. Kid's a fucking bum. Bellator champion. Yeah, absolute fucking spud. This dude's a shit fighter. He's not good. And I'm annoyed at myself because I literally hate picked against Bautista. Like, I genuinely was like, Bautista's a really good fucking chance to win this. I probably should pick him as an underdog. But I was like, I don't want him to win it. I want to be able to root for my pick. And I don't want to root for Bautista if I pick him. So I just hate picked against Bautista. Not coping about the pick, though. Good win, I guess, Bautista 30-27 or whatever. But yeah, Mix is just shit. Just defend a straight right hands, challenge level Patchy Mix, or level Bautista, and he failed that level. Like, defend punches from X fighter, he failed on the Mario Bautista level. Kid looked like a bum. Bautista was fucking looking like prime Cody Garbrandt against Dominic Cruz out there. Just like in some of those rounds was just evading some shots. Mix just looked shit. I think he shat the bed in his debut, honestly. Like, I do think he's decent, but he's not good, clearly. Like, bro, after watching that, Vinicius Oliveira KOs him, flatline. Like, literally flatline KOs him with a straight hand, straight right. Bro, Amian fucking Zahabo probably beats this kid. Like, Patchy Mix is not good. I'm making a video on fucking... I want to do a separate video on Bellator fighters, PFL guys, and just how shit they all are. And talk about, like, literal unranked / like, bottom end of the rankings, like lower ranked fighters that would beat these guys. Like, I'm telling you right now, Joel Alvarez, Fares Siam, and Mauricio Rufi all beat Usman and Magomedov, and none of them are ranked. Like, I'm telling you, Ignacio Bahamondes probably fucking beats Usman and Magomedov. Like, bro, these guys are not good. Paul Hughes would fucking lose to, like, I don't know, Maita or some shit like that. No, but like, these guys, these fucking Yaroslav Amosov was like undefeated until recently. I'm telling you, that guy loses to fucking Kevin Holland. Like, Kevin Holland probably beats Amosov. Like, they gave us MVP who was good, but we all kind of knew MVP was like, he's a Bellator, but it's like, he didn't fight like a Bellator fighter. Like, he didn't have the vibe of a Bellator guy. Like, he kind of had the vibe of like a UFC guy that had just been in Bellator. And his striking's really good, but he also has had his grappling exposed. But yeah, I don't know, Patchy Mix is just fucking awful, dude. Like, he was yapping his mouth saying, all these guys I beat, I'm already a top 5 bantamweight. It's like, bro, you're not that good. Like, I picked him to win, and I did think he could actually have success with the grappling. Like, Damon Blackshear is better than Patchy Mix. That's what we learnt today, by the way. Damon Blackshear, better fighter, better grappler than Patchy Mix, better striker as well. Had more success in all facets of martial arts than Patchy Mix. So comment down below just how good is Damon Blackshear if you made it this far in the video. Because clearly he's just levels ahead because he beat Mario Bautista and got robbed. Anyway, though, let's move on to the main card opener. Main card, we had Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. I picked Holland by KO because I thought Luque's chin was cooked. But no, he subbed him. He actually, he kind of hurt Luque a little bit early. I think he landed a nasty elbow, but second round, grappling exchange. He won the first, obviously 10-9. Grappling exchange, I don't really know how they ended up there, I think. I think Holland ended up with Luque on bottom, and then Luque kind of came up. Holland's got him in like a front headlock, wrapped up the DAS. Holland's got good DAS strokes, man. People forget he submitted Chiesa. Chiesa's allergic to DAS strokes, but kind of crazy. He got Luque with the Luque. Like, Luque's submission is the DAS. Like, that's what he does everyone with. That's what, like, some people that were picking Luque were saying. I don't know, bro. I reckon Luque could wrap up a sub. Take down Holland. I'm like, nah, bro. Luque is not a strong offensive wrestler, and Holland doesn't really get ragdolled by anyone except Hamzat at welterweight. So this was a pretty confident pick for me, and it came through. Anyway, let's move on to the prelims. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention, Kevin Holland called out Colby Covington. make that fight. Colby is going to be a bitch and refuse to fight prospects and refuse to fight anyone who has a very good chance of beating him. I still think Holland can beat him, to be honest. But that's like an appealing fight. Those two would yap. Those two would have trash talk. So yeah, make that fight happen. Anyway, let's move on to the prelims. Hey, let me tell about this kid, Joshua Van. Kid's a fucking savage. This kid's going to be a fucking future champion. What's the question? Josh Van? Who's next? Yeah, the fucking belt kid. He's ready. No. Joshua Van is my GOAT, though. I've been on the Josh Van train since before the train had even left the station. Like, I was the driver. I'm the captain of the Josh Van hype train. I've been telling you this kid's fucking crazy good, basically since his debut. Like, as soon as his debut happened, I was on Josh Van. Pause. Like, I was like, this dude's championship caliber. This dude's like 21 at the time. He's fought like fucking 9 times since then or some shit. He fought Zhalgas Zhumagulov in his debut. No one picked him to win that fight because no one knew who he was. And then since then, I've picked him to beat everyone he's fought. He's beaten since then. So Zhalgas, Kevin Borjas, Felipe Bunez, Charles Johnson loss. Then he had the Cody Durden win. So the Edgar Shires win, Cody Durden win, Ray Saruya win. And now the Bruno Silva win. 7 UFC wins in like literally 2 fucking years, bro. Or like 3 years. No, hang on. He debuted in 2023, I think. Yeah, he debuted in 2023. And this dude has 7 UFC wins, 8 UFC fights. And he holds the record for most strikes landed per minute. Considerably as well, by the way. And he broke it. He already had the record, and I think he extended it if the UFC has updated their thing. That would be great. But he absolutely put a beating on Bruno Silva. I knew he was going to. I knew Bruno Silva's defense was not good. Bruno Silva had moments in the fight. I can't imagine picking Bruno Silva. Kenny Okoye. Fucking idiot. But anyway, Bruno's solid. He is a good fighter. He did KO Cody Durden. He was somewhat competitive with Cap. I'm just going to say it. Josh Van did it better than Manel Cap. Josh Van is a more consistent, reliable performer than Manel Cap. Alright, well, they haven't updated it. But Josh Van previously held the record at 8.1. He landed, let's check how many strikes in the time frame that he did. Fight ended with 59 seconds to go in the 4th, and he landed a total of 149 strikes. This dude's crazy. Joshua Van against Ray Saruya landed 127. Against Cody Durden, he landed 184. Against Edgar Strays, he landed 183. Against Kevin Borjas, he landed 165. And against Zhalgas Zhumagulov, he landed 104. This guy is crazy. This dude's output is nuts. He's literally flyweight Holloway, and he doesn't gas. He has cardio. This dude is gonna be a champion. I'm telling you. He's 23. This motherfucker is 23 years old. This manlet goat is literally fucking 23. Like, it's crazy. He's like over I think he's 12 years younger, 11 years younger than Alejandro Pantoja. And I think a fight between them is competitive today. I think he would lose right now, just because he does need a little bit more experience. His decision making sometimes isn't phenomenal, but his takedown defense is pretty fucking solid. Saruya went like 3 from 20 on takedowns. Bruno Silva failed all the time. I think Bruno Silva got him down very briefly. Van got straight back up. And Van wasn't getting tagged by much like meaningful. Like, he got hit, but there was no point at time where he was rocked. And this is a thing that I'm liking about Van is he had a stretch of fights where he was kind of getting dropped in fights. Like, Charles Johnson dropped him. Borjas actually dropped him. Edgar Shires dropped him. But again, a lot of those are longer, rangy guys who can kind of catch you on the end of shots. There's not that many of those. Like, a Roy Val is a type that I could see giving him a little bit of problems. But like what? Bruno Silva landed 77 strikes. He doubled him he literally doubled him and dropped him 4 times on significant strikes. Bruno Silva went 1 from 6 on takedowns. This dude is crazy. Let me double check something real quick. Sorry. Not 296, sorry. What was the fucking pay-per-view? UFC 3... Fuck, what am I doing? UFC 310. That's the card. How many... No, and then I need to go the week later. How many strikes did Cap land on Bruno? Cap landed 111 strikes. I'm telling you, bro, and he knocked him down once, and he needed a fucking groin shot to secure a finishing sequence in a fight that probably would have gone decision otherwise. Bro, Josh Van is so good. He's my goat. Genuinely, again, it's tough for him because who's next? Because I literally checked this on stream. Every single fucking flyweight apart from Moreno is booked right now that's ranked. So, unless they do Moreno vs Kyoji on the Noche card, which I could see happening, that could be like a main event, honestly. I could really see them doing Van Moreno and just fast-tracking him. I don't think they will. I think the UFC kind of knows deep down Van needs one more before he gets that top. I think it's 2 more fights for the title for Josh Van, in my opinion. And I want both of those to be 5-rounders. So I'm thinking, like, it kind of just depends. I think Van, I know he wants to be active. You can wait a month or 2 until you then see what's happening with fights. So I think we got Tagirul and Bekos fighting in 2 weeks' time. If he wins, you could do that. But I would prefer to see Van versus like a top 7 guy. You got the week later, you got Kai Kara France challenging for the belt. I think he'll probably lose that fight. Then August, you got a couple flyweight. You got some good flyweight fights. Late July, you got Elmabayev, Temerov. I wouldn't mind the winner of that if it's Elmabayev. You probably don't want to do Van Temerov prospects like kill each other off. August, you got Elbazi Tyra main event. I wouldn't mind the winner of that fight or even the loser if it's Elbazi. Week after, you got Usyk versus Perez. Week after that, you got Asakura versus Elliott. So any of these guys, I think you just wait for a little bit. I don't know if you want to do Van Moreno right now. I think you kind of... again, if they just want to keep Van active and if Kyoji can't fight Moreno, because they're definitely going to want Moreno on the Noche card. And if that isn't Kyoji, it could be Josh Van because there's no one else ranked. But Van, I guess, stay prepped, and if someone pulls out, you'll be ready to step in, I guess, because there's a bunch of flyweight fights in the next couple months. I love Josh Van, though. It's my goat. Anyway, let's move on to the rest of the card. This was literally the only fight I had investment in, so I couldn't care less about the rest of the card. Mirzakhanov beat Ribeiro in the first round, I guess. Good for him. Give him fucking Ozdemir or something. He needs to step up. Why was this dude fighting Brenson Ribeiro? Anyway, next up, we had Sergey Spivac. He got fucking robbed, mate, against Waldo Cortez Acosta. I thought Spivac won 1-3, and it was annoying. I went 10-3 on the card. I did very well. 11-2 would have looked a lot better. Slim MMA, you know, the guy who won't shut the fuck up about Jose Aldo. He went 12-1 and would have swept the card if Spivac had got the decision. So, yeah, the picks were good though on this card. I was happy to rebound after the last few shitty weeks of Apex cards. But I guess I thought Spivac won 1-3. He definitely won 3. And apparently the judges all gave Waldo round 1 or something. Apparently he did fuck all in round 1. He just threw jabs. It's like, okay, if they're landing more strikes, and then the person's not doing anything else. But like Spivac landed impactful shots, and he also had grappling success. And he clearly won the third as well. He landed the way more impactful shots. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Chaos Williams got fucking dog-walked by Andreas Gustafsson. We will be fucking marauding our way to the top 15. I picked against him because I watched his Contender Series fight, and he looked so open. I'm like, Chaos Williams has power, he's going to chin him. It doesn't matter. That's what we're kind of learning with Merab, with these guys like Gustafsson. If you just fucking maraud forward with no care for your opponent's offense, most of the time, they aren't actually talented or skilled enough to find the perfect counter shot, and they are just going to get broken. And Chaos gassed after like 3 minutes. Didn't even really have Gustafsson rocked. Gus looked so open on the feet, but it is what it is. I'm telling you, bro, Gustafsson genuinely beats Leon Edwards. He actually does. Not like he's good. I'm not saying Gustafsson's good. Leon Edwards would break and quit and just... I don't care about technique. Yeah, he's better. Like, he's literally better at striking. He's better at grappling. It doesn't matter. Just have a chin and maraud forward with aggression, and you'll just overwhelm these guys that try and like stay on the back foot and find perfect shots. It just doesn't... It's a terrible style to deal with it. If you're going to be a marauder... If you're going to try and beat a marauder... You kind of got to go you got to go band for band, retard for retard with them, tard for tard, chrome for chrome, and just like hit them back and just try and like deter them from being a retard. Like you got to match the retardation, and a guy like Leon / now a guy like Chaos Williams just couldn't do that. They just get broken. So that's what I think. Good win for Gustafsson, and if you know, you know. Kids based. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Won Tong, Wang Kong, Ching Chong, Bing Bong. They fucking pronounced this bitch's name like 12 different times on commentary. 12 different ways on commentary. Well, I picked Wang Kong to win. She won easily. Also, shout out my pick as well. Swept the lock section on the card. There were 7 big favourites. Again, I'm not going to act like they were crazy. Like, oh my god, how did anyone not pick these? Like, I picked all of them. But yeah, 7 from 7 on the locks. So if you made money, I made money on this card. I made some cash. I had multiple parlays that cashed, featuring most of those fighters. And I also had a Josh Van $5 bet, round 3 TKO. Paid me $50. Which was pretty solid. But yeah, Kong Wang, Wing Dong, and Jing Chong, fucking Song Kanan, Zhang Ming Yang, Song Yidong, Ayo Chalang, Alatang Haley got the win, so shout out, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. Jakasaragi fucking died. I don't even know if Jusang Yu is good, because Jakasaragi is shit, so I will caution you all against like picking or betting this dude again if he's going against anyone talented in his next fight. Like, you're gonna have to just rethink it and just be like, alright, let's ignore the Jakasaragi fight, because I'm not going to act like that means Jusang Yu just has, like, Alex Pereira fucking power. Like, Jakasaragi ran in and got caught with a check hook. This is the type of fight where, again, I'm happy Jusang Yu won. I picked him to win by finish. But this is the type of shit I urge you to be cautious about, of everyone being like, Jusang Yu's a monster, and the next fight he might get for a check. So, brief word of warning, but the KO was sick. Nasty punch KO of the year, if I dare say. I'm trying to remember. Obviously, Roofy's got it locked up with the spinning wheel kick, but has there been a punch KO that's been better than that? Because that was nasty. Just face plant flatline. The walk off, he should have walked off. He landed one other shot, which kind of took away from it a bit. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Quillan Salkild versus Yanal Ashmuz. Salkild is slaying all the hated groups of society. He beat an Indian, he beat an Israeli. He's going Dagestani next, and I think he's going YN after that. He's hunting down Terence McKinney. You're not safe. And lightweight Dagestanis, who are like unranked lightweight Dagestanis, who are the I don't know, Loic Rajdubov, you're not even Dagestani, but close enough. You're not safe, buddy. Anyway, good win for Salkild. Good experience for him as well, to have to deal with a third where he was kind of getting like pieced up a little bit, kind of gassed. But he looks hella technical and very talented when he's fresh in the first 2 rounds. So if you can sort the cardio out, as long as that's not an ongoing issue, I think Quillan Salkild is definitely a guy to keep. I'm not going to say like future champ, but he's 25. Dude's ranked caliber for sure in the future. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we had fucking Markel Medeiros versus Mark Chawinski. I picked Medeiros to win, and he gets it done. Good job, I guess. I forgot everything about this fight. I would say that's it, though. That's the recap. Anyway, card overall, as I said, 10-3, pretty solid on picks. I said if I went worse than 9-4, I'd be disappointed. I went 10-3. That's about what I expect. I was kind of feeling like 11-2, but again, would have been 11-2 if that Spivac result had gone the way I thought it should have. Anyway, I'm not going to cope about the Gustafsson pick. I genuinely just thought he was going to lose, but I also am kind of annoyed at myself for not sticking with my original Bautista lean, where I ended up kind of just hate picking against him. But yeah, great. I would say great. Solid card overall. Haven't checked the bonuses yet. I'll do so now. I'm predicting Merab, Kayla, Van, and Sarah. Actually, they might give it to Holland. One of the main or co-main will get it. Van will get one. Saragi, the dude that killed him, will get one. And I think Holland will get one. They might not give one to Holland. I'll see. Let's check bonuses right now, just to finish off the video. If they have handed those out just yet, I will check that now. UFC, we got bonuses, surely. Performance of the night, Merab, Kayla, Holland, Jusang Yu. Okay, Van didn't get one. That's alright, I get it. Van had like the best performance of the card, I would say. Like one of the better performances of the card, but he was like a minus 700. So anyway, that'll do it, guys. Good luck, goodbye, good luck. What do I say? I don't know. Peace out. See you later.